When I came into trading, I thought I was gonna have a Lamborghini and all the kits and gadgets like in the first week. Then I started to grow my account and it grew it up big, and I ended up fumbling it down and I had like a $21,000 loss.
We're still here with our series of Alpha Capital Group interviews with people from far and wide around the world, and we have Millie here, who originates from Bermuda and has been living in London for a couple of years. And I'd like to know all about your story, because this is symptomatic of what's happening with Alpha. We're growing so fast. We've got people from all over the place. You're someone slightly different from the interviews we've done today, so I'm really interested in this.
What's up? My name is Cole. My friends call me Millie, but my name is Cole. I'm from Bermuda. I've been in the UK since 2021. So just after COVID, me and my girlfriend at the time moved over here. And I moved to a foreign country with her. So I'm looking at her every day. I'm like,
what have you done to me?
Oh, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and we're getting a little older. So I asked her to marry me. So she said yes. It was quite exciting. We actually went.
How long ago?
2 years ago. So we went on a private jet. I got this nice deal. I knew this guy. He was like, yo, it's going to be a nice experience. We went to Biggins Airport and we caught the PJ to Paris. And when we was in the air, I was like, I love you. I was kind of crying. She was crying.
Was that you loved yourself or?
Nah, I was just looking at the evolution of life, and I was like, dang, like this is kind of amazing, because we've known each other since we were kids, you know? So she's like kind of a friend. We broke up, got back together, the whole thing, and just watching someone grow up with another individual and just go through life together, it was just an amazing experience. So
wow.
We did the whole marriage thing. We got married in Cyprus. It was a beautiful experience. Her mom actually just passed away, so that's something that we look back on, and we're excited that she was actually able to enjoy that experience with us. And now we're just over here in London, just figuring it out, just her and I. No family out here, just two island people in the big city.
Waiting to get back to Iron Upper.
Yeah.
So when did you start? What got you into trading?
So I actually got into trading in college, but it wasn't like...
When you say college, what kind of age group is that?
20.
Okay. So like university.
22, yeah. But it was more so like simulations. I actually started doing, I don't know if you heard of binary options.
Yeah.
Binary options, which is like an expiry time. So I was doing that with a buddy, and I actually heard about trading from IML, which a lot of the kids this age are probably, was made aware of trading. So we was doing the whole IML thing, and I never really wanted to do the network marketing. So I was never one of those individuals that were out trying to grab people and do the whole thing. I was just really enticed by the idea that you can invest a portion of your life and some time into a skill set that can pay you out, and more so the autonomy that comes with it, because the whole modern 9-to-5 thing just doesn't really gel with me, like trading my time for money.
And that's a kind of irony, isn't it, with these pyramid schemes? Often the thing that's behind it, that it's like genuine, it's just the con is in the setup. And
then the individuals that was actually like promoting it weren't actually congruent to the lifestyle that I've seen that you can have with trading. So I knew that they were more so just like network marketing. And that's like more so like, I wouldn't say like a Ponzi scheme, but something similar that's going to crumble.
Yeah.
And I was looking more so for like sustainability and something that I can do for a long period of time. So I never really went into the network marketing aspect, but I started trading binary options, like I said. And then I realized that it's a lot harder than I actually thought. Like when I came into trading, I thought I was going to have a Lamborghini and all the kits and gadgets like in the first week. And, when you first start trading, you actually do have a degree of beginner's luck.
And so did you go the options way because the initial margin's smaller and that get you access? Or
I actually went the options way because that's what I was introduced by the individual that was doing the binary options. So I didn't even really know anything else. I went to school and I started finance, so I was familiar with like the financial markets, but not the like intricacies of actually like what goes into it. So that was the first thing that I got introduced into. But the thing I don't like about binary options is like you have an expiry time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but you open, I guess, a contract or position, and you can do like a 1 minute, a 5 minute, like different time frames. And if that position is underneath or above the entry point, then you win the position. Let's just say I'm going to go for like a put option. If it is above that, when the expiry time actually happens, then I'll win the position. But what I learned when I was putting more time into trading, that you actually need time, and then you have like fluctuation zones, you have order blocks, all these other things that go into it. So I'm kind of actually gambling, and I'm not really looking more so into price action. So I then found out about indice trading and like Forex a little more when I was in that niche. And I never really wanted to get in Forex, so I just hopped right into the Dow, which like a lot of people would say that's kind of crazy because they believe that you should go like, like currency pairs like JP or UJ or like Audi or something a little slower than make your way up to like gold and indices. But I just wanted to get straight into like, I said, if I can invest my learning into something that I'm going to like kind of go into, I might as well just jump right into it and like learn from that position. So,
and you've stuck with that one instrument?
Yeah, I actually been trading US 30 since the beginning, and I just started to cheat on US 30 a little bit and started trading NASDAQ because I feel like the price action is just a little bit cleaner. So now I trade NAS and US 30, but yeah, I definitely would say US 30 is my baby for sure.
What do you find is good about that to trade?
I like the volatility aspect because so trading is something that's really intimate and personal because a lot of people have like different strategies and different mindsets and all these different things that they say are going to make you profitable or going to make you have this type of hit rate and all that type of stuff, but it's really not that. Trading is a very psychological game and you have to do what works for you. So for myself, I'm not the type of individual that would really like get into swing trading unless I find like a great position and I have fundamentals behind it and great technicals and I'm just going to hold a position. I would rather take my risk and know if I'm right or wrong within the next hour or two. So you get that with trading indices because you have so much bullish or bearish momentum that comes into the market, especially when you understand like certain times to trade. Like if you're trading within session, you can actually like make a good bit of money in a short period of time and then go back to doing whatever you want to do. So I didn't really want to get into currency pairs and kind of be dragged out. I wanted to just have more decision-making process more than like the whole dragged out all day type of product. That's not me, that's not for my personality type.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's the way the underlying trades in the real world as well, isn't it? There's certain order flow that you've got no idea about in the Forex market. It's a little bit more obvious to try and follow and track in the stocks and indices world, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So what would a typical day look like for you? Are you a hands-on trading all day type of guy or not? I got the feeling for a minute ago you're going, because I've got other things to do with my time.
So it's like the evolution of my journey. So I have a lot to be grateful for, and I'm so grateful that God has put certain people in my life, because I met my friend Daniel and he actually like really refined my trading, because I was the individual that was like scalping, and I was like waiting for the bell. Like that's what I used to do, just wait for it, which is like 2:30 our time. Yeah, like 2:30 our time. I'm like, all right, here we go. You know what I mean? It was like more so like gambling. And then like started to get like integrated with people that have different processes. So, and I realized like it's more so finding a good position or finding an order block and taking your position for that day, win or lose, and then coming back the next day and putting yourself into a system. So now, and before, what I used to do is just like make sure I stayed up really late and try to be on like New York time. I'll go sleep like 3, 4 o'clock.
Can't afford to miss that one time.
Because I had to stay up to make myself tired, because if I would have woke up at like 9 o'clock, I'm just going to be looking at the charts like from 9 all the way to 2:30. So I would make myself stay up so late. So I'll be waking up like 1:30.
And on that basis, how would you resist trading in the London session or the European session?
Well, now I actually do take positions in London session, but only after like 12:30 when volume comes in, which like right before New York session. But before I was just waiting to the bell. And it wasn't, I was trading live accounts, like smaller accounts and flipping those type of accounts, but it wasn't no sustainability. So I said, you know what, I got to put myself into a routine. My wife is out here, she goes to work, she wakes up every day. So I said, I'm going to start doing the same thing. So now my days look like I get up, I like to read. So I would read my book, I would do my meditations, I would, do some grounding, then I'd go to the gym, I would catch myself, and then I would just kind of like start peeping at the markets. But even when I'm in the gym, I'm just trying to like integrate myself and be in touch with the markets, because even if I'm not trading, I'm still on TradingView, kind of like looking at the charts and just getting a sense of like where price action is. One thing that I found that actually helped me a lot more was looking at TradingView and not looking at my broker. I don't know why that is for me, but when I actually look like at my broker and I see the price, it just gives a different feel. Like there's red and
you could be going.
Yeah, it gives me a little like anxiety just slightly. But when I look at TradingView, being that I only trade off of my broker, I don't trade off of TradingView. So when I only look at TradingView and I know
it's got to be considered before you do.
Yeah, it's like I have to do more so of like analysis and like actually understand what I'm looking at before I hop into a position. So I'll be on TradingView now and I wouldn't open up my broker until I'm actually going to take a position. And I find that's very like helpful for me. And then when I actually want to like actively take a position, I'll go to my computer, because I take positions off of my phone sometimes because it's like more savvy, but I'm only at my computer, my 2 monitors, I'm having full insights. I want to see like back tests. I want to see everything that's going on, because you only have one shot. I mean, you can overtrade, but you only have like one shot to make an accurate decision, to have like long-term consistency. So after I trade, usually I'll be done like around 3 o'clock our time, 3:30. And then my wife usually gets home at 5 o'clock. And then I I do the marriage thing, you know. She comes home, how was your day? You know,
You got your penny on?
Yeah, and every day I'm like, being that I'm a trader, like I'm home a lot. So you would find me, like if you had a camera in my house, I'm the one vacuuming. I'm the one.
Because there'll be a list that you've got to go through.
Yeah,
right?
you know. So like I'm washing the dishes, I'm making up the bed, I'm doing all those things, and it's cool, you know, to like, because like that whole gender role thing is like BS, you know what I mean? It's whatever. So I take care of a lot of like the household responsibilities, and then like, you know, sometimes I'll do 2 days in the gym. I'll come home. When she comes home, I'm like, hey, let's go to the gym. And I just get to spend time with my wife, you know. I get to talk to my parents a lot, and I really have that time to do kind of what I want to do.
When you came over originally, was the plan for you to be doing something else, or?
No, I came over. So when I came over, I was doing that like the binary options thing, because I had some buddies from school that was doing that, and I really got into like the whole financial things, because when I was in my grad program, we had like a simulation, like a market simulation thing,
So
and I actually did very well because I had my portfolio investments class, and that was like simulated markets type thing. So I came over like, you know what, I'm gonna get into like trading more in depthly, and I knew at that point when I graduated about like more the foreign exchange market, and I thought I might like kind of get into it, but I was just still doing the binary thing. And I got into crypto years ago, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to continue to invest in crypto and just like kind of see where it goes. And you know, it's just, now this is the evolution.
And when you say invest in crypto, is that physical or?
So I don't trade crypto. I like long-term hold crypto. I got into crypto back in 2017. This is when BTC Cash, I don't know if you're familiar with Bitcoin Cash, but back then that was a big thing. So the main three was like BTC Cash, Ethereum, and also Bitcoin, of course, right? And these were like at discounted prices. So my first Ethereum that I ever bought was for $90. And at one point I had like 34 Ethereum, but then I started selling them, and now I have like 17 ETH, you know, and I've got some other coins. So I actually made a good bit of money off Ethereum, and that's what I was able to put into my live account and like continue to flip those live accounts. And that was my plan, just flip the live accounts and just keep it going. But then I blew it, you know, after.
I was just about to say, it's just feeling like there's something around the corner.
Yeah, I blew it. So like, I didn't understand like the whole psychological thing, because I saw something on the internet, and there was this one kid, and he was like, I would never be like a multi-millionaire off of trading. And I was like, why did he say that? And he said, because it's different levels of psychology that come with money. So when I was flipping like the smaller accounts, like seeing $100, $50, it was easy for me. I could make a more informed decision. But when I started to deal with like thousands of dollars, it's just, you stop looking at actual like risk to reward and P&L. You're just looking at money at that point. So then you start like scalping and then cutting yourself out of position. Then it actually goes, and then you're filming, and then you just start doing all this stuff that is not really systematically based. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I started to grow my account, I grew it up, and then I would like fumble it down. I grew it up, then I fumble it down, and I grew it up big, and then I ended up fumbling it down. I had like a $21,000 loss in one day, and then I had to like take some time off, and then I actually found out about like prop firms. So I was like, wow, I could.
How did you feel in that moment when you lost the 21?
My wife was home, and I was a terrible feeling.
How many windows went?
And no windows went. I just went to my knees and I cried, and it was like a cry. It was a cry of agony, because I did it to myself. It's because right before then, I think I had made like 15K the day before, and I started having all these thoughts. You know, if you're a trader, like, yeah, I'm making it. Like,
I was saying this to someone the other day. It's not. Everyone talks about it's the series of losses that kill you.
Yeah.
It's the wins that are more dangerous. Because
then you start feeling like you can't lose. You know what I mean? And then like I was building it up, and I had like this ego thing, like I cannot lose. So then I ended up over leveraging, and I was like, what have I done? And this took me months. You know, this took me months to build the account. Like this happened back in 2022, and this is like, it took everything out of me, you know? So I just didn't know what to do. And I knew that trading was a thing that people made a lot of money like doing, but I realized now that I was actually over trading. I was doing too much. I was chasing. I wasn't like doing it more so from like looking at it as a business. I was just going, getting a little like withdrawal. I was trading on KOT Forex. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. It's like an unregulated broker, but they always gave me my money. So it was cool. Like I was trading on an unregulated broker. It was all cool. And it was like small money, just like pay for some things and stuff. But when it started to become like, yeah, I'm going to get $1 million off of trading, like that's what was my mindset at that moment. Like losing that is like you almost lose your vision. You almost lose a sense of yourself. And my identity was so intertwined with trading, you know?
Built it for so long.
Yeah, it was like so much of me. And like now it's just like, I understand that it's just like a game of probability. It's a game of risk reward. It's a game of psychology. And like, you don't have to beat yourself up if you lose a position. But back then I was so invested into like proving myself right.
It's almost, if you're not losing, you're not doing it right. And that sounds counterintuitive.
It's a part of the game,
you expect by the definition of how you're setting up,
It's
there
definitely
should be some losses.
And it's a lot that comes into trading. Like now I have a therapist, I have like a shrink or whatever, because like this game is like stressful, you know what I mean? So I have someone I talk to, and
Something that we're looking at strongly.
yeah,
There'll
so
be something coming through it.
definitely, and
soon.
you definitely need that in the community. I had like one of my best friends, you know what I mean? Like all of my friends now, all trade, all doing the same thing, all same lingo. Like back then I was kind of like on an island. I was out there, moved to the UK, didn't know anybody. So I was like, this is all I had, you know what I mean? And it was good because my risk to reward was like, I would like lose a little bit of money, but when I start, like I said, when I start to make a lot of money, I lost all of that and just like tumbled right down. So then Daniel was telling me, he was like,
you'd lost that when you were still on your own, no one to
just me and my wife.
Yeah.
I hadn't met anybody in the community yet.
Does she get involved at all, or does you keep it separate? Do you chat about anything with her?
So the crazy thing about my wife is I never did the IML thing, but she did. She was doing the whole
high ground.
Yeah, so she was doing the whole network marketing, you know what I mean? And then I put money into a live account, and so did she. And we was like flipping our accounts together, you know? But then like she ended up we ended up blowing our smaller accounts, whatever. But then she was like, you know what, this is not working. And she got a job working on Lloyd's of London and, you know, that type of thing. And she went on her journey, and I just kept it going because I kind of knew what I wanted for myself. So her understanding trading and what goes into it, like trading, she traded for like probably like 4 months or something like that. She understood like what it took from me, and like I was crying, and she just held me. And this is before we was even engaged or anything like that. I think we were engaged, but this is before we was married. So I think this is back in June of 2022, and we got married in September of 2022. This is a couple months before. Now that I'm thinking about it,
that's a tough year of trading as well.
Yeah, and you know what it was? I'm thinking of it right now when it's jogging my memory. I was actually about to get married in a couple of months, and I was gonna use that money for certain things, and I was like, this is my career and all this type of thing. So I think I had like added pressure on it. And then she's like, babe, it's all right. Like, you know, why do you fall down? Like, you know, and just having that support base. And then I took like a lot of time off. Like I was like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on the wedding. You know, her mom was kind of sick, and then my mom and her family was coming out. So I was like, I'm just going to like decompress. So like for the rest of 2022, I didn't even trade.
Well, do you think, is that something you'd advise if you suddenly, you've got loads of pressures in the background?
Yeah.
You should just, you need to focus, don't you?
So like for beginner traders, I feel like the theme of everyone in the trading industry is rushing because of the internet. Like a lot of these like social media gurus are going to
come on, man, I've qualified.
They're going to show you Lamborghinis. They're going to show you the mansions. They're going to show you so many things that are just going to induce you into just wanting to just rush. Like trading, like is something that when you start, you're just going to want to try to get to profitability and get to success so fast. And it's like, that is not sustainable. You know what I mean? Like you have to slow down. So when you take a loss, slow down. You have exterior events.
What's the point of qualifying and then same strategy, lose?
And you're just going to keep doing this. You're going to keep doing this. So I think it's like something where you kind of have to like self-evaluate yourself, self-regulate yourself, be conscious, be aware, know what you're doing, because that's going to stop you from revenge trading. That's going to stop you from over trading. That's going to stop you from filming in a trade, like not taking a position, just really being conscious and aware and slowing yourself down. So I took pretty much the rest of the year off in 2022 after the wedding. And then I picked it up in 2023, and then I found out about funded accounts. And I was doing the evaluation stages for a while, and I got funded with a company. I'm not going to say any names because I got all the way up to the funding stage and they didn't pay me out.
So and also people thinking, this is a scam industry, what am I doing?
So I have been losing all this money.
Had you met Daniel by this stage?
I still hadn't met Daniel. I just met Daniel a couple
months. You must be
months.
thinking, what the hell have I done?
So Daniel is like a godsend. So I'm getting to that. So we started out in 2021. 2022 was like the learning, blowing the account, like build it up. So then 2023, I found a prop firm.
Is this ever going to happen?
I found a prop firm, and it's like, and I got funded, and I could probably look on my phone. Doesn't matter. It was like a $11,000 payout, and they didn't pay me. So then I'm like, oh, dang, you know what I mean?
It's just all that effort, all that time, doing everything the right way.
And then the crypto market was in a bear market. So all my long-term holdings that I had made, because I started out like hospitality and stuff and like made some of Ethereum. So all my ETH was down. You know what I mean? So 2023 was just like, dang. So so even like pulling from my crypto investments or like my savings to like put it into like, because I was going to try to start trading lives again. I was like, you know what? Because I had actually like, the thing about trading funded accounts and trading funded, it does make you a lot more disciplined. It does give you an edge.
Counts down.
Because now you have like certain rules and parameters you have to follow. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes you from going like from that rushing to like more so slowing it down. So I had become a lot more mature in the markets, like my market maturity. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this whole thing over again. So I ended up finding, so they didn't pay me out. I sent them an email, all that type of stuff. And then I did some research on it. I went to Trustpilot and I was like, fuck. You know, I was like,
why didn't I come here?
So then I was like, these prop firms are a scam, you know, type thing. So then I ended up putting money into like another live account, and then I had then it just started clicking because the prop firm started, making money. Then I ended up last summer having like my first 5-figure payout in a prop. It was a regulated broker, all that type of stuff. But then looking online and I saw like some bad stuff about that, because in order for me to get my money, I had to send like my bank statements for like 6 months, my passports, my driver.
You're thinking scam time?
Bro, I was thinking all this crazy stuff. So, but then they actually ended up paying me out. But then at the same time, I met Daniel. Like I had the 5-figure payout. Then I met Daniel like 2 weeks later. So they paid me the money, but I was like, and then some people were like having mixed reviews, like they're a fraud. So I was on Trustpilot looking up them, looking on WikiFX, and it's like, they're fraudsters, whatever. And the only reason I think they might have paid me because I threatened them. I was like, hey, you guys haven't paid me, but don't worry, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't want you.
Yeah, because I have family that's like in law and whatever. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my family involved, blah, blah, blah. So then they was like, we're sorry, our support's gonna get on you, blah, blah, blah. So they ended up like giving me the money. And then I met Daniel and I just withdrew all my money and he's like, yo, you gotta trade funded, so whatever the case is. So this is a couple months back. I was like, all right, cool. I'll give it a shot. And then I went to the F1 event with ACG. And then I found out about ACG and I was like, I'm gonna give these guys, and they have 0 commissions. The trading like when I was executing trades, it was because I had other prop firms that was like, the spread was crazy and like you can only trade off of MetaTrader 4 and all. And I'm at a stage right now, I'm trying to do everything legit, professional. Yep. Like, I'm from a small island and they don't really have much like information in regards to like fintech, technology, stuff like that. So like I really am kind of like bridging that gap, and I hold that as my mentor. And I think that's kind of more so of my purpose, to like kind of reach back to the people back home in Bermuda and be able to like help them, you know what I mean? And that sometimes becomes like a little bit pressure based, because even in 2023, I started to promote myself in my country of like, yo, I trade, this is what I do, I'm gonna help people, but I still wasn't at that level.
And is the rest of your family, your parents are happy with what you're doing? Or not?
Yeah. Everyone, so they're happy with what I do. My mom's actually a pastor, so like she's very like Christian, God based, and she's like, if you're walking in your purpose, God's gonna help you out. My dad's in insurance. He's an underwriter. My brother's in insurance, and my wife is in insurance. My brother owns an insurance company, so like, and I've actually dabbled in insurance, like done some work for them. When I was kind of in that transition after college, I was doing some insurance work or whatever. So
risk analysis is not a problem for you.
Yeah. So they're all doing like insurance and stuff like that. But I was like, I'm kind of like more finance based type thing. So my parents was like, cool. So they're very excited for me. So I'm like, I want to do things the right way, do everything like more legit. So I was promoting myself in my country, and like people were hitting me up, but then I didn't have like a proper broker. They was asking me, what's a good broker? And I had been through so many brokers.
And you've nearly been done twice. And
so I don't want to give people like bad advice, or like, I wanted to be able to give them a plethora of options of like elite stuff. So now I know about like ACG and like other firm and like different brokers. So I'm like in my journey and I'm learning myself. So everything that's happening right now, I can actually like reach back. So even now in my journey, I'm like a lot slow. I've taken one position this week. I think I made like I made 3,000 yesterday on that position. And it's like, I probably won't even trade for the rest of the week. But like 2 years ago, I'll probably be like looking at my phone.
But I would say,
right now, you'd be talking to me. I'd be like,
I asked all you guys today, is anyone trading? And no one is. It's everyone would expect the successful traders, you're not going to get a word in because they're trading. No,
it's just
they're focused. It's all about the process.
Yeah, it's like percentage basis, it's just kind of like taking it slow. So like now I'm just like really like, my purpose is really like, obviously, to be the best version of myself, but I really want to be able to help the people in my country, but I want to give them value. So like finding Daniel, and Daniel was from a Christian family as well. I was raised Seventh-day Adventist, and he's from the same faith, and I didn't even know that. And I was like, yo, this all makes sense. We guys just came back from Thailand, He's like, we really like built a good relationship amid the ACG family. I'm like, it's starting to make sense now, just like the years of just like not even knowing what to do, running around in circles, all of that type of stuff. So now
you found your path, basically.
Yeah, I found my path, I found my purpose, and I found a community, that is like a reputable.
And how does the Alpha family help?
It helps a mile, because when someone comes, because when you're on the internet, I'm on Instagram, I just got on TikTok. When you're on the internet, people reach out to you and actually like, they're always asking me questions like, what, this and that. And like I would tell them, like the only one I would tell them was like KOT, because like that's the one that I got a lot of payouts from. But all the other ones, even though I got like withdrawals from these like live accounts that I was doing, it was always like kind of like pulling teeth. Yeah. So, but I still didn't want to give anyone like any unregulated brokers or anything like that. And now I would definitely even recommend people to trade in the prop space, because like I lost $21,000 in one trade. Like that's $4 million of funding. I lost that in like 10 minutes.
It's incredible, isn't it?
4 million in funding in 10 minutes. And like Daniel was like, yo, bro, like you got to do the fundeds, you know? So now that I'm aware of that and like just kind of gauging my mind of like why you shouldn't.
You've got a proper balance.
Yeah. And even if I lose an account, because I have like 200K account, even if I lose that, it's like I'm losing 1,000. So I'd have to lose that 20 times, you know what I mean? And that's not going to happen before like a payout or whatever the case is. So it's like, now I know like the proper steps to like help somebody and show somebody, you know what I mean? A proper company and all of like the infrastructure is being built out. So I'm just grateful.
And what's the next step? What level of funding are you trying to get to?
Just probably try to stack as much as funding as possible over like as much as brokers as possible.
So have you been diving into the 40% discounts at Alpha?
Yeah, I just pick one up. I actually picked one up in Christmas and then I tried to full margin that to try to cheat. I blew that account. You know what I mean? and I picked another one up. But I'm just so grateful that these resources are actually even out there. You know what I mean? Like for people, because when I started, like even though prop firms are it was like only really like FTMO back in 2021. Like it's so many different like firms, but now we're starting to see like who's true and who's not. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful that I actually went through my journey, because now I can actually like reach back and like, you know, help people. And I realize now, like, because things are kind of like starting to work out, that it's bigger than myself, you know, even being here, like I'm super humbled and I'm aware, you know.
Is there anything that Alpha's not doing that you'd like to see us doing? And is there, and by that, not just for the majority of people who we've spoken to today in London, thinking back to, you say you want to help from people from home, do we service globally properly? Is there anything we can do to help?
I think you guys do you guys have done well in regards to the awareness, especially like the giveaways you guys are doing. So you're doing well. That element you guys said about like therapy, I haven't seen any firm do that yet. But like trading is like,
it's the last thing they want to do, isn't it? You want to stop people throwing money at you, but we want to do it without hurting people. I
think even within the prop space, it doesn't have to be free. But I think the firms could have like psychologists and therapists like on their roll, and then like you have an affiliate code or something that they can get help, because this is like, it's very stressful. And trading is not stressful because of price action. It's just like lines going up and down, like tickers, it's a volume here. Trading is stressful because when you make a good trade, it's because of you. When you make a bad trade, it's because everything happens because you. Like trading, I saw something is like your results are directly correlated to you.
But it takes a long time for people to accept that,
because you have to build your mind up and you have to understand that, you know. So in regards to your question, I think maybe just having more support, even for people that like aren't like funded or profitable, just having that support base of like, we know how stressful it is, and we are aware that this is like on average like a 2 to 3 year process to get to like profitability. Here are some more resources outside of like discounts in regards to like evaluations. Here's more resources, and like here's the community that can like help.
I think there's already been a rollout this week of some more stuff. We're going down.
No, you guys are beast. I'm not gonna lie. Alpha is like, I had another. I'm not gonna throw any companies out there, but I had another company that I would say was like number one, but now I'm thinking Alpha Capital is probably the best.
Keep talking
in the world.
Don't take this mic off this guy.
Yeah, I think Alpha Capital is probably the best like in the world. And I've traded with like different, like I've traded binary options, like simulations. I got my master's degree in finance. I've been in the space for like such a long time.
You've kept that very quiet. Can you?
Binary options?
No, the next bit.
My degree?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 100. School?
No, because a lot of people say you don't need it, and
you don't.
No, but the mindset of.
So like, I would definitely tell you, this is how I feel about like college and school. I feel like the world is definitely evolving. Like I'm even like sometimes like I just refer to that like for like credentials wise, like for maybe the more like the baby boomer generation, because they might hold me to a certain esteem. But these Gen Zs and Gen Xs don't care, because these kids are on YouTube making millions.
Yeah.
Like people's on crypto, like you can do anything these days. Podcasts, there's so many different ways to make money. So I think like going to school and getting in that space was a part of my journey, like learning about like stocks, bonds, treasuries, all that type of stuff was just leading me down to this path. Because like I said before, I think my purpose is way bigger than the charts. I think it's like to actually help, impact, and inspire. So that's probably something that I might be able to use, like maybe if I got into like politics or something back home, because I do see myself potentially going back to Bermuda to help. But like, honestly, college...
From what you said, you want to encourage people to better themselves and further themselves, but they don't have to go to college to do that.
So I would definitely say like, it depends what you want to do. Like if you're going to be a doctor, if you're going to be a lawyer, you got to learn the law. If you're going to be a doctor, like certain things, but like for other things, I think college is more so a network based and like how you use that. Like when I went to school, I didn't realize until like my last year that it's like, these are all like-minded individuals doing the same thing you're doing that are probably going to disperse all around the planet. network. You know what I mean? So like, but when I came in, it was like, yeah, I got on my mom's house. You know what I mean? Just wanted to just drink. I was just getting wasted, like, you know, just having fun, all that type of stuff. But like in regards to like what you're learning in school, it's like so like, you know, rudimentary. It's like the same thing, just like regurgitated in different ways. And this, you know, is very systematic based. And that's kind of why I like trading as well, because you're kind of like low-key breaking the system.
I was talking to one of the guys earlier, and it came up that he was so passionate about something, and yet he'd said he was absolutely useless at school. And we said, they just don't get you engaged.
Yeah.
And this is a kind of thing, and you're in a community where people are trying to help you.
Yeah.
And this is a path forward, isn't it? Because you
definitely,
it's all about capturing the passion. A lot from what I've gathered from everybody today is that the money is kind of, unless you're losing it right now, right here, right now, everyone understands it's a process that will get them the money.
Yes.
And that it's all about the passion, and it's a passion of wanting to succeed rather than necessarily make the money.
You definitely, in trading, you definitely have to be passionate and love what you do, and you have to be process based.
Yeah.
You can't be like, when I came in, I was more so enticed by the things you can get, but losing and failing, like it built me up to like, I'm going to do this. And I was more like
building blocks, aren't they?
I was more driven by like mastery of the charts. And then it got a level deeper and I was like, nah, it's self-mastery. And then I fell in love, and that's when I started to go to the gym more often. I started reading books. I actually was starting to be nicer to people. I had self-awareness. I learned that like speech is silver, silence is gold. Like I started like being more conscious. Like it definitely got conscious, and I was able to like, I manifested this. Like everybody here in this room is like, I manifested this by just like
being aware. This is really important.
Being aware of myself and what I wanted, because Daniel literally just showed up in my life when I had been through multiple brokers, multiple prop firms, been like, I had a 10K plus payout that didn't get paid. All this stuff was just going like left, but my awareness of like technical analysis and psychology was so high. So like I knew how to trade, but I just didn't know who to trust. I'm on Trustpilot, on WikiFX, like what's a good broker and all this. And then Daniel I just met him in central London, and I was like, dang, like you stay through it. Sometimes things do get a little harder before they get better. But that's where the passion part comes in. That's where you like understand like, yo, I know what I want and I know what I want to do. I'm not going to stop until I get what I want.
Well, I think you've summed it up brilliantly there on the basis. It's not just about that success, it's what it does to the rest of your life, and it gets you back on track.
It makes you a G.
Yeah,
definitely makes you a G.
And this is what I want people to watch this and think, jeepers, yeah, I'm in a mess, but you know, if I get myself focused and get a path and a plan together, there's a way out of this, and I've got people here wanting to help me.
And accountability.
Yeah.
You can't, if you're not a person that doesn't have accountability, you're not going to be well at trading.
And this is often why people are off the path in the first place. It's regaining that consciousness, isn't it?
And you have to be resilient. I mean, there's just so many soft skills, and like your emotional intelligence is going to go up. Like everything is just going to go up, because it's just going to come down to self-awareness, because trading is a game of psychology and risk management, and also like understanding what you're doing. But the whole psychological aspect is like mainly the game, and that is the betterment of yourself. That is self-mastery. It's not about order blocks or higher highs and higher lows. None of this stuff about bullish and gold. That's just stuff that you learn. It's just like a language you have to learn. But the key in anything you do, like even if you're doing the Olympics, or if you're going to be a sports person, or if you're going to have a bakery, or even if you're going to be a custodian or insurance, anything you do, if you want to be an elite individual, you have to be the best version of yourself. And trading is one of them things. Every day you come, you have to show up. You can't have a day off. That's when you blow your account. When you have that brain fart day, that's when you blow your account. You have to come every day, and you got to be sharp. And that takes a while. It's hard to do, but it can be done.
It's the not trading day that's the hard thing to do, isn't it?
And sometimes not trading is the right trade. You know, like I didn't trade today. I don't think any of my buddies, none of us traded today. No, I mean, Jay Powell's really speaking today. So now, I mean, Jay Powell's speaking. So like, you know, like leave that alone, you know?
Yeah. You can only ruin it.
Yeah, definitely. Unless you just want to just do a mad one, but that's not going to work out. But yeah, definitely like that self-mastery element is like, that's trading. You know, if anyone asks me like, what's trading about? I'm like, you're bettering yourself. Like I was always saying to Daniel, like when I met Daniel a couple months back, and I was like kind of in that little phase, and I was like, yo, bro, like I have a concern about this and that. And he always just say, be better. You know, he just says it just like that.
Just
like,
be better.
Because I say better, but he says better. So I always say to people like, be better. So if anyone asks me, I'm like, yo, be better. You know, I think someone needs to like hashtag that, be better. That's
Don't worry, I think that might end up on the bottom of this video.
Yeah. So I think that's like one of the key elements right there.
That's cool. I mean, you've given us so many sound bites there. It's absolutely a refreshing voice amongst, you know, some really enticing stuff today. But that was brilliant. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers, sir.